Hey guys, I'm Paul from Convision, and today I'm presenting the Visiotech VS series professional body camera. We've got two models in this range. This one's the VS2 model, and we also have a new model called the VSX. The major difference between the two models is this one has 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, whereas the VSX model has 64 gigabytes of onboard storage. One of the major features about this camera is its ability to transmit live video and audio back to a monitoring control center. It also has the ability to transmit the GPS tracking of your entire deployed team back to the maps in the control center, and this is going to provide real-time situation awareness of what's happening out in the field. The camera does that by utilizing its onboard 4G or Wi-Fi transmission capability. The camera also has the ability of dynamically switching between Wi-Fi and 4G depending on signal strength. Some of the other features in this camera is its ability to record at full high definition on board. So that's 1080p resolution, and it also has the ability of streaming at 720p resolution back to the control room. The lens is inbuilt into the unit. It's a wide angle 140-degree lens. The battery is going to last over 9 hours, and that's with continuous recording and continuous GPS tracking. Like all our professional body camera range, the VS series has AES-256 encryption built into the unit. This secures the footage in the camera if the camera gets lost or stolen. It also ensures the integrity of the video evidence on the camera if it's ever used in the court of law. Okay, I'm going to start off by talking about the pre-event record mode and the GPS tracking on these cameras. With the pre-event record mode, the idea is the camera is always recording to an internal buffer. We've set this camera up for a 30-second buffer, and when the guys press the record button, this buffer is going to be automatically attached to the front of the recording. And so what's going to happen is you're going to see all the events leading up to the point where the button was pressed. So just to kick off standard record mode on these cameras is a really simple process. Press the record button once. The camera beeps and vibrates to indicate that it started recording. The internal buffer was automatically attached to the front of this recording, so I'm now getting 30 seconds before I press the button on this recording. And the LED indicator, the record indicator on the top of the camera, has gone solid red, indicating that the camera's recording. To stop recording, it's the same process, very simple. Press the record button again. The camera gives you a beep and a vibrate feedback to indicate that it stopped recording. And the LED indicator on the top of the camera has gone out. So it's a really easy process to do normal recording. With regards to GPS tracking, the great thing about these cameras is the camera is constantly broadcasting its GPS location to the DEMS Live server. In fact, not just this camera, but your entire team is being tracked constantly. So at any given time on the DEMS Live client, back at the control room, head office, central control room, whatever you've got set up, the guys can be monitoring the location of the entire team at any given time. The camera is not just tracking movement, but also speed, time and location and so on. So we can start doing some fancier, what we call geo-fencing alarms later on, entering areas, leaving areas, and so on. But we're not going to go into that right now. We're just going to cover the basics of what's happening. I've got an example up on the screen here of a trace that we've done on a particular individual over a day, and you can see that he's moved across the Brisbane area, and down here is a summary of where he's been, how fast he was going, where he stopped, and so on. One of the fantastic features about this camera is we've got the normal record button, but we've also got duress record. The main difference is the duress record button is going to kick off recording on board here, but it's also going to send an alert off to the central control room to say that, hey, I'm in trouble. So you might have lone workers out in the field, they may be feeling threatened or whatever. Single press of the button here, and we're going to get anywhere in Australia over the 4G network. We're going to get his location, live video stream, and so on. So if I go to the video screen here, I press the duress record button. Within half a second, I'm now have a live stream of the person out in the field, anywhere in Australia. His location is brought up on the map. The alarm alert has alerted me in the control room that I'm in trouble, and I'm also able to hear what's going on. So one-way audio is now being broadcast with the video, so central control room can see what's happening to the person out in the field. He doesn't have to worry about it. He just has to press one button. He knows that central control room is actually monitoring exactly what's going on. Now, the great thing is that if you've got a deployed team out in the field, you're going to know where this individual is, but also you're going to know where your entire team is just by looking at the location of the team on the field, and you can send the cavalry in if you like. Okay, so we've covered the standard record button and the duress button. Just want to cover some of the other features on this camera, starting with the power indicator at the top. So that blue LED is blue at the moment because the camera's on and it's got a connection through to the server. If this was green, then the camera's on and it's not connected to the server, and when that goes off, the camera's off. Just moving our way around to the side, this button here is a photo or still shot button. Pressing this gives the guys a 32 megapixel still shot. So the camera gives you an audio and vibrate to know that you've taken the still shot, and that 32 megapixel photo has been stored to the internal memory. The button above that, audio record only. So pressing that starts audio recording. Pressing that again stops audio recording. Moving our way up the buttons, this one is a press to talk button. So we can actually have a two-way conversation between this unit and the DEMS live software of the guys sitting in the control room. And this is going to work just like an RT radio. Moving our way around to the front, we've got integrated IR lamps. Generally, these are going to be programmed to come on in low light conditions automatically. Or alternatively, if they're not coming on automatically, the guys can force them on by pressing and holding the lamp button on this side. So as you can see, that's turned on the IR lamps. Pressing and holding that again turns the IR lamps off. We've got a 140-degree wide-angle lens in here. We've also got white light. So pressing and holding the camera button here turns on white light. So this is going to work like a torch. So if the guys don't have a torch, they want to see something at night, it's a good little feature. Pressing and holding the photo button for 2 seconds turns that back off again. The other little feature that we have here, we've actually got a laser light. So pressing the lamp button on this side turns the laser light on. This is a great little feature when the guys are vesting up at the start of their shift. They want to know that the camera's pointing in the right direction. They can quickly turn the laser on, make sure it's pointing straight out, and then turn the laser light off. Just moving our way around to the back of the camera now. We've got a 2-inch high-res monitor on the back here. This has some great indicators. So we've got record on and off on the screen here. We've got connection to the server. We've got a 4G indicator with signal strength. We've got a battery indicator, so that's going to tell us that when our battery is going to run flat. We've also got Wi-Fi and GPS connection indicators. Other features can be exposed through these bottom buttons here, like playback. But of course we need to give the guys access via a password to access these more advanced features. If they do have access to playback, then one thing that we have restricted on the camera is we make it impossible for them to delete any footage. So once the guys have been deployed and they start collecting footage or evidence on the camera, the only way to delete the footage on the camera is to bring it back and dock it in the docking station and upload it to the DEMS software. The guys are not going to have access to deletion at all. From the camera design perspective, we've made both the VS2 and the VSX models quite a non-intrusive design, particularly the VSX model. The casing is weather and dustproof to IP67 rating. It's also ruggedized and it's been drop tested to 2 meters. The internal storage in this unit is totally encased within the unit and can't be accessed by the general user. Just turning the camera around to this side, we do have some external connectors. So this connector here at the top is a USB connector. That can be used if the guys have got this mounted in their vehicle and they want to connect it to their cigarette lighter. We can charge the unit from this external plug. It is totally sealed off by the rubber bung, and that's also the case for this second slot here, which is for your SIM card. So I just want to quickly cover the docking procedure for these cameras. Currently we have an 8-channel docking station connected to our DEMS docking PC here. We've got 5 cameras currently docked in the system, and they're taking up the first 5 slots of 24 slots of this docking station. So essentially we can have 3 8-channel docking stations connected to each PC, and you can build the system from there. Essentially you can start adding docking stations across your network, anywhere across the network, and build your system up from there. The footage is uploaded from the camera to the docking PC, or alternatively, if you have a big system, we can upload from the camera directly to a centralized server. The procedure for docking is really easy. The guys finish their shift, they come in, they put their camera into the slot. The DEMS docking software will auto-detect the camera. It will dynamically determine whether there's footage on the camera and start doing the upload process if necessary. So as you can see, it's detected the footage that we've taken and it's going through the upload process. Once the upload is finished, the system will tell you that the upload is finished and the camera is then put onto charge. So from an operational perspective, we can program the DEMS docking software to automatically delete the footage on the camera after it's been successfully uploaded, and that'll prepare the camera for the next shift. So when the guys want to start the shift, the undocking process is very similar. They come and get their camera, remove it from the slot. The camera turns on and they're ready to roll. So from a mounting perspective, we've got a number of different mounting options. So the one that we have here is an industry standard clip. We call it the quick clip. That attaches to their vest. This is probably one of the more robust clips in the industry, where you actually, once you attach it to your vest, to remove it, you have to rotate the camera 180 degrees to pull it out of the vest. Otherwise, it will not be removed. So if somebody's out in the field and they're trying to rip the camera off the vest, it's not going to come off. Some of the other options we've got different size clips that we can use. We also have in-vehicle mounting, so suction caps onto the windscreen that will attach the body camera to the windscreen of the car. And we also have magnetic clips. So the magnetic clips can be used to attach to vests, or alternatively anything, metal structures, anything.